This is the step-by-step guide to go from average to attractive. I made this video in mind for the man who's stuck in my old position, where you have all this ambition, all these goals, maybe you're actually trying to do something about it, yet you just can't seem to figure it out. You know, social media it's like saying stuff to you left and right, like, oh, train like a bodybuilder, do this and that. And, you know, other people are saying, oh, train like a functional athlete, hybrid athlete, whatnot. So you just don't know what to actually do or train for. So in this video, I'm going to go over not only the physical side of things, like teach you how to build the attractive body, you know, like how I got to where I am today, but also the non-physical side of the stuff too, because that's also equally important. So stay tuned. Now, first off, I'm going to if you didn't already click off in the video earlier, me playing the song, if you don't care about 1 rep maxes or being the biggest guy in the gym, bodybuilding, powerlifting, and you just simply want to build an attractive body that woman actually wants, that you can keep year round, you know, so it's sustainable, you can eat your favorite foods and whatnot, and also to live a fulfilling life full of confidence, energy, and get respect from not only other people but yourself, you have come to the right place. This is not a red pill, you know, F all women, like get in shape, bro, make money, get as rich as possible, prove her wrong, you know, she broke your heart, break hers kind of video. No, those people are broken. I'm making this video for the guys in mine who are like me, who are raised in a maybe like a semi-loving household, you know, but you know, there's shallow women out there, but the chances are you don't even want to attract them in the first place, right? You don't want to attract those kind of women. You know, they're not attractive. You know, maybe you'll like gawk at them because they have like big boobs or a nice ass or something like that. But, you know, you don't see that being like the mother of your children, do you? So by implementing the advice in this video, you'll finally have the options to attract the woman that you want, the woman that you envision being with. Now, this video is also not a loser black pill video, which if you don't know what the black pill is, don't go like down a whole rabbit hole. You know, it's just a quick little recap. Losers who complain about genetics, you know, like those guys who are like fat and just complain about having a slow metabolism or like having like bad facial features. It's like, brother, you have all that fat on your face. You probably have like the best facial features out of all of us. Or the skinny guy who's like, I might as well because I don't want to go to the gym because I have narrow clavicles or whatever the hell. No, every single man can make the best of his situation. I am 5'8", and let me tell you right now, after making the transformation that I did, I have no problem in life with energy, confidence, getting what I want out of life, whether it's through women, you know, my current girlfriend I have right now. And this is also not another basic guide of how to, you know, get in shape, build the aesthetic body, you know, like all these like mumbo jumbo bullshit. Like everyone's doing that, right? So I'm not going to copy what they're doing. No, attraction is multi-dimensional. Sure, it's the body, but there's also the personality factor, which I'll go more into. So we talk about the physical and the non-physical side of the attraction. Not to like keep tuning my own horn in this video, but throughout it, I'll be laying out the action steps for you to complete. You know, pause the video and only unpause once done. This is gonna be imperative for your growth. My goal is to make this the last video that you have to watch on this topic. You know, I don't want you just to mindlessly watch this video the entire time, scrolling like, oh, like just like one ear out the other kind of thing. No, I want you to be paying attention. Class is in session. I know school is boring, but this is like fun school right here. You're gonna be learning how to get attractive. So if you want to actually get results in this and not be stuck in this cycle of being average like you've been in the past, I don't know, like couple months, maybe even your entire life, like years, then you know, take out a piece of paper and a pen or like a Google Doc or something and take notes. And every time that you see this highlighted action steps, stop, pause the video, finish that, and then continue on. All right? All right? Hold up your hand and give me an oath. But first off, before I go into like the how, why should you do this, right? Why become attractive? You know, like just like saying like the obvious, other people, they're going to treat you better, which means girls too. You know, you're going to have access to more options with not just like girls, but like friends and just more high quality people because they see you as high quality, right? We live in a semi-shallow world. Yeah, just deal with it. You got to play the game, right? You can sit there and complain like a black pill or like, oh, my genetics are so bad. Or you can do something about it, make a change and live like the authentic version of yourself, which is exactly why attraction actually benefits you as well. It brings out the best in you in the case of self-discipline and respect, right? Like the guy who's sitting there like shoving his face with like donuts, or like the guy who like just complains all the time, has this negative mindset. His respect and discipline will be very low compared to the version of you who could be like waking up daily with energy, who is going to the gym and making the best out of his situation. And, like I always say that building the attractive body, that is the biggest form of self-respect that you can give. Because if you can't make time for yourself, if you can't go to the gym a couple of hours a week, then you are lost, right? If you can go to another man's job, like a 9 to 5, if you can show up for other people, but you can't show up for yourself, you are lost. And I hope by the end of this video that I help change your mindset in that as well. You gotta make time for yourself. Self-respect, self-discipline, that reflects onto other people too. They see that in you. They see you smiling, your posture's upright. Like it's besides the muscles. It's the ability to like show off that you can lead your own life, which is why being attractive is important, because it shows that. It's like your resume of your discipline. So not only will other people give you the respect that you want, you will treat yourself better too. You're gonna be like, you're not gonna have as many negative thoughts about yourself, right? You're like, as you're watching this video, you're probably thinking like, oh my God, I'm such a loser, blah, blah, blah. I hate myself. Like that is not the mindset that you should be having as a man. You should be thinking like, I love myself. I'm doing such a great job. I'm doing the best of my abilities. I'm building the life that I want for me, my future wife, and my family and whatnot, or the family that I have currently. And the mindset that I want you to have during this entire video is that the quality of people, not just women, that you attract are a reflection of you. So if you're attracting losers, like you heard about the whole thing about like, oh, the 5 people you spend the most time with, like if you're like the average of those 5 people. It's the same case here. The quality of people are a mirror of you. So if you think you're surrounding yourself with losers, that's probably because you are a loser. And the second that you start doing more high quality things, all of a sudden it's like you're starting to attract more high quality people. Like, of course, you can't just be in your room the entire time, which is exactly what I'm going to go over in a second. It's like more like the lifestyle side of things. But first off, just building off this point, here's my little diagram here. The type of woman you will have when you're average versus attractive. These are actual text messages. This is actually kind of hard for me to put on here. This is kind of embarrassing to put on, but I decided to do it anyway because I care about you. I want you to be able to resonate with my story. So you can see that I wasn't just born confident. In fact, I was born the opposite, right? My mom abandoned me when I was younger, grew up with a lot of like hatred towards women and like issues with that and just abandonment issues. So definitely wasn't the best start, And I just didn't have a lot of self-respect for myself at the time as well. I was the quote unquote nice guy, kind of like you can see it in my demeanor right now in that picture. A little bit of context. This girl was leading me on a bit, and she continued to do so even after sending this huge multi-paragraph text about how she's going back to her boyfriend and whatnot. And you would think I would have stopped there. No, I continued on. I continued talking to her for like months on end. I think this was back in like 2022 of June, I want to say. And this didn't end until like that November. So this was like an entire year of back and forth, which was a low point of mine to say the least. That's what happens when you're an average guy. You attract women like this who will lead you on, or there's not high quality people, and they just, they make you feel like shit, because you treat yourself like shit. So they make you feel like shit even more. Now, when you're attractive, you get texts like this, like all of a sudden life just feels so much easier. That's how it's supposed to be. Relationships shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't have to take all this effort. Like with this girl, I would have to like initiate everything. And just for her to like pull this like 180 on me, leading me on and whatnot. So if you want to avoid that trap that most men are going through, because it's average, right? So most men are going to be average. So that means most men are dealing with this. If you want to have an above average dating life, you got to start doing attractive things. Which is now I'm going to start to show effort. But first off, real life example. Just like to prove my point even further, if I wasn't attractive, you would not be watching this video right now, as number one, you wouldn't be believing the words that I'm saying. And number two, I wouldn't have the confidence or the discipline to follow through in making this video. So that's where, like the real life example comes in. And attractiveness is besides like, oh, like the looks maxing, like the jawline and all that stuff. No, it's what goes on in here too, like your discipline and like your mentality and just how you treat yourself. So now we know why. How do we actually become attractive? And first I got to explain the 2 types of attraction. I always use the analogy of the fish and the fisherman. Your like physical attractiveness, so like your looks and stuff like that, what people see visually, that's like the bait. And everything else, the ability to actually catch the fish, like sure, the fish might bite, but it can still like wander off and escape. That is your non-physical attractiveness. So it's equally, if not even more so important. Think about like the most attractive guy you know. Sure, he might be able to get some one night stands, but if he's like brain dead, or if he has no other like interests, or if he doesn't like do anything with his life, then he's not going to attract the woman that he wants. Maybe some sort of like gold digger, some shallow woman, yeah, but that's not the woman that we want. We want the highest quality woman that we can get. I mean, you can probably picture her in your head right now, and those are the standards that you should live by. Those, like, you shouldn't be dropping them for like, like these kind of girls over here, like the daddy issues and like this, everything that's like wrong with them. Like the people at the red pill community talk about, and they claim it's what all women are like. Let me just tell you right now, not all women are like that. As you can tell by my text messages from my now current girlfriend, it is a way better feeling. You feel so much better, and like your self-respect just goes through the roof. The fisherman analogy, a little bit of recap. Your looks are like the bait, and you actually be able to get the fish, which is like the girl in this situation. That's your non-physical attractiveness. So now onto the guide. And again, start taking notes. If you haven't been already, get ready to take some action on those action steps I've laid out as well below. And if distracted, come back to this video when you are free. My whole goal for this video is that this is going to be the last one that you will ever need. And for that goal to come true, you have to be fully in on this. You can't be distracted. You can't just be on your phone the entire time, or you can't be in the kitchen, like during like dinner time or whatever, or you can't be like in like the car. No. So watch this video, full unguided attention, and you will get results. You will have life-changing information, trust me. Now, non-physical attractiveness is very simple. Just don't be a weirdo. Have one social outing a week with your boys, with your family, just a group of people where you're just talking, you can be yourself, and you're just gonna be able to boost up your social skills. Because if you're in your room all day, like some like gym, like lonely gym cell, if you can picture like the guy who goes to the gym 5 to 7 days a week, this could be you, by the way. And all he does is like watch like self-improvement videos, but he doesn't really do anything about it. And he knows what he has to do, but he never takes action. Like, that's not the person that you want to be, right? Like the lonely weirdo. Because when you do attract a girl, like even if you are like handsome and you master the physical attractiveness part, what are you gonna do, right? Are you just gonna have her like join you to watching YouTube videos or to play video games with you? No, she's not gonna stick around for long, all right? So overall, just get out of the house and have interests outside of the gym, right? It's like this crazy thing to say, but it's really not. All right, our first action step of the video. I want you to brainstorm at least one hobby that hit each of these 5 categories. A competitive hobby. So things that require some sort of competition where you're actively competing against someone else or yourself or whatnot. That's going to help you scratch that competitive itch that we as men have and help you push your limits so you become better at that skill that you're being competitive at. That could be chess, that could be a sport, that could be anything. Second, you want a solo hobby. So this is going to keep you busy, when you don't have any sort of plans going on outside like your weekly social outing, that you don't have to be on your phone. Like you don't have to be like some like idiot like scrolling your phone the entire time. Instead, you're going to have something you can do consistently. That could be, like reading a book. That could be, like just like shooting guns. And I'll show you a bunch of examples in a second too of what I do. A social hobby. So a hobby that you can do with a group. A creative one that allows you to have that self-expression, because that's very important as men, is to create, not to always consume. Money hobby. So one that can generate you money. That could be a skill. That could be a side hustle or business. And a bonus hobby, I would say, would be adventure ones, like travel and hiking. One that you can have stories from. That would be like interesting to talk about. Like, let's say that you travel to like another state for the first time and you have all this like information to talk about, or you went hiking somewhere, So those are the categories. And here are some examples. So for me, I am a runner and endurance athlete at heart. So I've done a half Ironman. I do like marathons, triathlons, and whatnot. And most of the time, it's like running races. Like I got one planned next month, a little 5K that I'm going for. And that keeps my head in the game. It gets because there's like a difference between like working out and training. Training, it's like you're more locked in, you're focused than you are when you're working out. When you're working out, you're kind of just going through the motions. You don't really have a goal. With training, you have a goal in mind, and that helps push you forward. It doesn't have to be running. It doesn't have to be any of these things, but these are just examples for you to go off of. Solo hobby. Shooting guns outside the range. It's a lot of fun to do, especially, and it can also be a social hobby too if I bring some friends along as well. I love reading. This is the book I'm reading right now, with a 4-hour work week. If you're like an entrepreneur or an employee who doesn't want to be working 40 plus hours a week for the rest of your life, read this book. I love like the points that it's making so far. I'm about halfway through it right now and I'm loving it, taking action on it, taking notes, and just applying it to my business right now. A social hobby. So for me, I love hiking. I love exploring new areas. Here's a picture of me and my friends in a waterfall area. It's so sick. Me and my girlfriend and this beautiful little like hill area by my house. You know, you don't have to go like super far away. Like this is like 5-10 minutes from my house. You can just go anywhere. But as long as you're like hiking somewhere with like a group or another person. There's a cute little cow in the background staring at her. It's funny. Pickleball. I love pickleball. It's like a new thing that like I got into and I love it. I just like fell in love with like the sport. It's like tennis but like different. And a money hobby. But these can also intersect with creative hobbies as well. Like for me, I am a fitness coach. I post content online since I'm an online fitness coach that promotes my business and also educates people as well, which is what I'm doing to you right now. I'm able to make a living off of helping people, which I never thought was possible. I thought I had to do some like weird, like boring office job, but no, every single day I'm like surprising myself. It's a lot of work, yes, but it's fulfilling because I get to help out clients who are in my old position. And if you're somebody who is like Rain, you know, you're working like always like days. You don't have time to make gym like your entire life or make gym a job. And if you're looking for one-on-one coaching and getting results like Rain did, I mean, he only got these results in what, 4 weeks? And he's been like mildly inconsistent since he spent the last 5 years being inconsistent. So we're breaking off all these bad habits from him. Book or call me one-to-one down below. We'll talk about your goals, your situation, and just strategize a plan and whether or not it makes sense for us to work together. So fitness coaching, that's my modality for making money. It's also creative too because I'm filming, I'm making videos. This is fun to me. I love this. I never thought I would be into speaking to the camera, but I am. Now personally, I don't really game as much as I did back then, but when I do, it's more of like a creative thing. Like me and my girlfriend, we built this house together and it scratches that creative itch. It's a lot of fun. It's like a thing that you can like do with other people. You know, don't make gaming your entire life, especially solo gaming. It's like such like a depressing feeling to have. You know, you're living life, don't live life through like a video game. Like don't distract yourself. I also used to build Legos, like the Star Wars sets, so it's my favorite. I made my first dollar online actually on this game called Roblox when I was 12 years old, helping like these like game developers build stuff. Like Roblox is like this like game within a game thing. I also made music 2 to 3 years ago too. I was heavily into like guitar and instruments and metal. I tried to make a business off of it, but I had no idea what I was doing, so I made zero money, which is funny to think about now because a 12-year-old me made more money than an 18, 19-year-old me. All in all, these are all my hobbies for each of the categories. It's a lot of fun. Use these as an example, but try your own things as well. Because attraction starts by being well-rounded and living a life that people want to enter. That's why this is important. And average men like yourself aren't doing this, and that's why their life sucks. That's why they fail, because they don't have that interesting life that other people want to enter. So when they try to reach out to other people, they're kind of like leeches almost to society because they have nothing to offer. But when you become attractive, when you work on the non-physical side of things, you become more well-rounded. You're not just like that weird gym cell person. All of a sudden, you're just like more like multifaceted, and people are interested in you. You're just more magnetic and more like higher frequency person. You have more to talk about. And again, remember the mindset. The quality of people, not just women, that you attract are a reflection of you. So if you're a well-rounded, interesting, high-quality person, you will attract the same kind of people. Now, this is the foundation, so do not wait until you have the attractive body. Start now. And in fact, pause this video until you have completed the action step above. Don't just copy mine. You know, just make it easy for yourself. Like, oh, like, yeah, I want to do like running Ironmans, unless you actually want to. Dig deep on what interests you. Even that means like really spending like the day. Even if you have to like replay this video tomorrow, like just spend time and think about what you actually want. That's how you can maximize the results of this video. You're not trying to be me, you're trying to be a better version of you. All right, last chance to pause this video and do the action step above. If you have not done the action step yet, you're not gonna get the results that you want out of this video. You're just gonna be another mindless consumer watching my content, which is great because you're helping out my business. But at the same time, I want what's best for you. I truly do. That's why I'm making all these free videos for you to watch. And for me to best help you, you have to do the action steps. You have to be applying the knowledge as we go. All right, so in hopes that you actually finished the action step above, we're now moving on to the physical attractiveness side of things. The first one is obviously hit the gym and train for the female gaze, which you probably haven't heard of it before. Of course, hit the gym. Yeah, everyone talks about it on social media. But what no one talks about is that there's really 2 types of lifting, 2 like modalities. There's the male gaze, which is like the C-bum, trend twin, bodybuilder, like bulky, winter art, bro. Like, oh, we're gonna get as big as possible this winter. We're gonna lock in, the great lock in September and whatnot. All this nonsense that these guys are like spouting onto. This is attracting other guys. It like hypes them up and it's great. As long as you go to the gym, that's great, yeah. But this is where like the average man falls into when they do go to the gym, where they're still lonely, when they're still like the gym cell like persona, where they're like dirty bulking, doing steroids and whatnot. And that's not where you want to fall into. What you want to do, and this is actually way easier than the male gaze, is training for the female gaze. Think about the Anakin Skywalker from Star Wars, Revenge of the Sith, or Brad Pitt from Fight Club, or this random model that I found when I searched up male model with like a cool background. You don't want to go for this over the top, super muscly, like bulky bodybuilder look. That's not attractive to women. Maybe some, but we're playing for a majority here. You know, we want to make our job easier, not harder for ourselves, right? If you don't care about stepping up on stage, then why are you training like a bodybuilder? You know, go for like the lean, super like easy to like maintain look. I've noticed that we as ambitious men tend to have this idea that the harder that we work on something, the more results that we get out of it. Maybe in some aspects, yes, but in the gym, it is not the case, especially if you want to build an attractive body. So if you want to build a body that's attractive to women, keep watching the video. If not, just stop right here and click off. I'm sure you would have already clicked off in the beginning, but if not, now's the time to get off, because this is for guys out here who don't care about stepping up on stage, who don't want to do like stupid steroids and put stuff up their ass, who don't want to do dirty bulking or getting as big as possible, or 5 to 7 day bodybuilding splits and gym become the personality. Because our goal isn't to like be a bodybuilder, it's to build the attractive body. So stop training like a bodybuilder, right? Like, I totally get it, because I was in that position too, where I was going to the gym 5 to 7 days a week, because social media is always like, oh, like the fitness industry is always like, oh, if you want to get big, you got to like go to the gym and whatnot and train every single day. More is better. But it's really not the case. Take it from me, okay? So to actually train for the female gaze, it's actually pretty simple. You're going to prioritize getting lean first. So before you bulk or cut and whatnot, go on a caloric deficit down to 10 to 12% body fat. That is perfect. Your abs are nice and visible. If you did gain some weight, if you did choose a lean bulk after that, you would probably get up to 50% max and you just cut back down to 10 to 12% again. Versus if you started at 15% and you went to 20, boom, your abs are gone. You got man titties starting to develop. That's not where you want to be. That's not the female gaze. That's the male gaze. You want to go for the sculpted athletic look versus the mass monster. You don't have to go down to like 3 to 7% body fat, or just get as big as possible or big as shred as possible. Just go for like that healthy, athletic, sculpted look, because that's what the majority of women are attracted to. As for how many days to go to the gym, 2 to 4 is really all that you need. 3 is like that sweet spot. You can go to 5, but that's just way too many like days, in my humble opinion. And I personally do a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday full body split, and I've seen great results from that. And that's how I built my attractive physique. So learn from me, I suppose. And instead of going to the gym, you can now fill all that extra time with your new hobbies, which is great. So you can be not this one-dimensional like bro like bodybuilder thing, right? Or like not even like a bodybuilder. You're not even going up on stage. You're just some like weird lonely gym cell. You can fill it up with like your new hobbies, become multifaceted, and live a more fulfilling life. Doesn't that sound awesome? As for what split to do, any split's gonna work as long as you hit all of your upper body muscles at least twice a week and all of your leg muscles at least once a week in the split. It seems pretty contradicting, like, oh, you gotta hit your muscle groups twice a week, but you're not really a bodybuilder, right? You don't need like the biggest legs possible. If you're hitting them at least once a week, just like the testosterone benefits and all that stuff, and building it like a nice proportionate physique, like not having like those like chicken legs, you're in a good spot, okay? I may be like the first fitness influencer out there to tell you, like, hey, you can only do legs once a week. Next point is to train near failure, 0 to 2 reps in reserve. I would hold off on the 0 as much as possible. Like maybe doing for isolations, yeah, but you don't want to like fry yourself for the next day. That's what's going to kill your energy and make you feel like sort of fatigued. For the isolations, if you do like lateral raises or like tricep stuff, yeah, okay, 0 is fine. But for like compound movements, 1 to 2, that's fine. And what 1 rep in reserve would look like, because obviously 0 reps is like you just can't do anymore. I wouldn't do that in compound movements, as you might end up injuring yourself. Like the risk of injury is gonna be higher. Isolations, it's like you're doing like a single joint activity. It really doesn't it's not really gonna like injure you as much as like a bench press would, right? Because you're doing like multiple muscle groups in that. So for like a bench press, for like a squat, 1 to 2 reps in reserve, I'd say that's like a great spot to be in. 1 rep in reserve. What that's going to look like is, let's say that you're on a bench press and you finish like your last rep and you feel that you can do 1 more, but you would need someone to help spot you for that like last rep. That's 1 rep left in reserve. And same goes for like 2 reps in reserve. While the science does say that you can lift anywhere between like 5 and 30 reps to build muscle, the lower reps, 5 to 12, make this a lot more achievable, like a lot easier to do, right? If all your sets were like 30 rep sets, sure, you can build muscle, but it's gonna be harder to know like where failure actually is. So stick in that range for most of your lifts. Personally, for me, I'm focusing more on strength for like some of my lifts. So like I'll do like the first 2 lifts like 4 to 6, the next 2 like 6 to 8, and like the last like isolation ones are like 8 to 10, maybe like 6 to 8 in some of them if I don't feel like doing like too many like heavy reps. But what matters here is that you're reaching failure. And I probably should add this onto the thing too, but you're progressing. Each and every week, increase in a given rep range by at least 1 rep or like 2.5, 5 pounds. You know, you're either increasing the reps or increasing the weight. So for example, if let's say on, can I actually like draw on here? It's like, yeah, oh shoot, I can, yeah, perfect. For this example, let's say that you're doing a bench press for like 135 pounds. So 1 plate on each side. And you want to do a rep range of 6 to 8. And that weight is heavy enough where you're going between like 1 to 2 reps in reserve. If on week 1, you're able to do like 3 sets of 6, on week 2, you'll try to go for like 3 sets of 7. And let's say you do that. Then on week 3, you want to go for like 3 sets of 8. And once you get to this point, where you're at the end of the rep range, then you can move on to more weight. So maybe you'll do like 3 sets of like 6 at 145. Let's say for this example that the progress is not as linear as it once was. You're not going from 6, 7, 8. Now it's like week 2, you're still stuck at 6. What you can then do is instead of doing like 3 by 6, like 3 sets of 6, you'll then do like 4 sets of 6. And by week 3, you should be able to get out of this plateau. So you should now be at 3 by 7 or maybe like 3 by 8, and so on and so forth, right? And in the example where you know, maybe you'll try this out, but you're still stuck at like 3 by 6 next week. What you can then try to do is just take like a deload week off, where you go like 50% all your lifts. Like let's say instead of doing 135, you'll do like, I don't know, like what is that, like 65, 70 pounds on the bench press. So you do like 70 pounds on the bench press. So you're like going half on like the weights, and then you'll do like 6 reps. And then do that for like all your lifts, and like the next week you'll come back feeling like nice and refreshed and strong. So that is the basics of progressive O-load. You increase by the volume or you increase by the weight. And as long as you're doing that, as long as some sort of number is moving up, you are improving in the gym. You are growing muscle, you are getting stronger. And overall, you are 1 step closer to building the attractive body that you know you want. All right, now with all that information, next action step number 2. Mark on your calendar what specific dates and times that you will go to the gym, as well as what split. You don't need to know the movements just yet. I'm about to go over that, but write down your calendar like, oh, maybe like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'd be free those days, or like Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, or like maybe just Saturday and Sunday. Like, I don't know. Like, you're going to pick some days and times that you can go, like 6 p.m. or like 7 a.m. or whatnot, that you know for a fact that you can stick to on your calendar, and decide like what you're going to do in those days. Like maybe today will be an upper body day or a lower body day. When choosing a split, just find one that hits your upper body at least twice a week and your legs once a week. That's really all that it takes. Follow these guidelines. All right, now we're moving on to the nitty gritty, all the movements that you can start to train. And for these, you can do any variation that you want. I would suggest trying things out. I love barbells. I love dumbbells. Not much of a machine or cable fan unless I'm doing isolations, but for like the big stuff, I like barbells and dumbbells, so I'd choose those. Maybe for you, you're opposite, but as long as you're doing something is gonna be better than nothing. So just try things out, see what you like. What makes the gym fun? Because that's what's gonna get you results. I don't know if you heard the quote, but like the man who loves walking will walk further than the man who just cares about the destination and whatnot. Like I totally butchered that quote, but it's the same idea there. If you love going to the gym, you'll make faster progress, building the attractive physique, having the high energy levels, and getting like the woman that you want, versus the person who's just going for like the results at the end, right? All right, movements to train for the lower body. First off, pick a squat. It could be a back squat, front squat, barbell, dumbbell, or even like a backpack if that's all you have at home, if you're doing like a home workout. Just adapt to your situation, whether you have a gym, whether you don't have a gym, and find a variation online that you like. But as long as you have a squat. And then we have a Romanian deadlift. Don't do sumo or conventional unless you want to get into like powerlifting, because there's really no point in doing those. They just leave you feeling like super tired afterwards. I highly recommend just doing a Romanian deadlift. It's going to tire you out less, and you're going to hit your posterior chain still, right? Like the back and like the other benefits, you're going to get those from like the upper body stuff, which I'm about to go through. So choose a dumbbell or a barbell or whatnot. And optional, if you really want to have some more leg volume, if you want your quads to get a little bit bigger, your legs to get a little bit bigger, I would recommend Walking or standing lunges or the Bulgarian split squats. Don't overthink it. Just try them out, include, and see what you like. Now, if you're an athlete or maybe even chose on your brainstorm list a sport that requires a lot of like running or like basketball or whatnot, highly recommend doing lunges because that will be as specific as you can get to the sport that you're doing. So lower body, it's very simple. Don't do like the calf raises and whatnot. It's all useless. Just stick to like that. Like don't work on like the noise. You're not a bodybuilder. You're not trying to get bigger calves. Girls don't even care about the calves. Just work on building a proportionate lower body, and that's really all that it takes. Moving on to the upper body. First off, we got the bench press. Highly recommend prioritizing the incline bench press. If you're only gonna do one, which I still like recommend doing both, but if you're only gonna do one, do the incline bench press. Or if you're at home, do like decline push-ups. It's gonna give you that more like full like chest look versus like the flat like saggy like man boob look. So definitely prioritize these over like the flat bench. And don't do decline. I don't know why people do it. It's so stupid to like, oh, train the lower chest. Now, if you don't like bench press, I didn't include this on the list, but it just popped in my head. Try out dips and see how you like those because it works like pretty similar muscles as well. Now, next on the list is your overhead press. It's gonna help work out the core, work out your shoulders, and you're gonna have a lot of instances in life where you're picking something above your head. So, having the muscle, but also having something to like, call for it, right? You can feel like capable in your body, knowing you can pick up heavy shit as well. Pull-ups, chin-ups, lat pull-downs. These are big. Just pick one of these, 1 to 2 of these, or even like 3. Like I do like all 3 of these, like a mix of these. And while pull-ups and chin-ups can be pretty hard to do at first, start off with the lat pull-downs, do like negative pull-ups or like chin-ups, because you're always gonna have access to like a ledge or a bar if you're like traveling, or if you're like without a gym, but you're not always gonna have access to a lat pull-down machine, right? So work up to these. Plus they're fun. Rows, bent over rows, pendlay rows, seated cable rows, just pick your favorite. It's gonna work out your back as well. These are both gonna work your pulling muscle, so they'll target like indirectly like your biceps and directly like your back. This focuses more on like back width, making that nice, sexy V taper that women love, and this works on like the thickness, so you get like a nice like thick, attractive looking back. Abs, keep it so simple, really. Your core already gets hit, especially if you're doing like standing compound movements like the rows and like the squats and RDLs and whatnot. But I would target the lower abs. So doing things like either hanging knee raises or hanging leg raises, depending on what you can get. I started doing these like a couple months ago and I've definitely felt the difference. And I'm now starting to like get up to this point as well. So this is like a progression. So start here and go up to here. And if you don't have a bar, do them laying down. Weighted crunches, I personally don't do them, but I know it works, so you can try them out. I just think they look a little weird, so I don't do them. Last but not least, optional, if you have the time, do them. If your arms are pretty like genetically small like mine, if you want to work like them, do like bicep curls and like the cable, do like tricep extensions and some lateral raises. I would definitely include these at the very least, as they'll like make your shoulders pop out more. Now, I stole this little excerpt here from Hamza because I really resonate with this. If you don't know who he is, he's like a YouTuber. He really helped me get out of like a dark place 3 years ago, so his content really helped me get to where I am today. So, it's very foundational. Go check it out, like his older stuff. But he says, like, if you're a high performer like me, we don't do a lot of fun stuff. And that's extremely true. So we should be making the gym as fun as possible, right? Like, of course, it should be effective. We shouldn't just be doing like whatever we feel like each and every time. No, there should still be like a structure. But if you find yourself not enjoying the gym or looking forward to the workout, often all that you really need is to increase your motivation. And how you can increase your motivation is like changing things up. If you don't like the squat, try out like a front squat. If you don't like your current bench press, try out like an incline bench press. You're just trying different variations of things. And, you got your trusty Google ChatGPT on your phone. Look up all the variations online, give them a try, and see what you like the most. Action step number 3, choose an exercise to try out from each and every category. You're gonna write down an outline of your plan with the exercises, the sets, rep ranges, following the outline above as an example. Pause this video until you've got it down, and then you can unpause, all right? Part 2 of physical attractiveness comes from your diet. So here's a simple diet for muscle growth, fat loss, and energy. Because if your diet is shit, your results, sure that they can be achievable, but it won't be as easy as if your diet was locked in. And I don't mean do like carnivore, keto, vegan, or all these like weird like stuff, right? No, we're gonna keep it as simple as possible. Keep it simple, stupid, KISS. That is the acronym I want you to think of when you're going through this. Eat whole foods 80 to 90% of the time, and saving like 10 to 20% for like nights out with friends and family and whatnot if you're on like vacation. I'm not saying to eat like a monk. I'm not saying like you have to like eat like bland, untasty foods. No. In fact, once you start eating like these like foods, like this whole clean foods, like a nice like steak, eggs, like your mouth's gonna start like watering. Like if your mouth isn't watering from this picture right here, then you gotta like get your diet in check, right? Because that looks freaking delicious right there. And to know if something is a whole food, how you can tell is if it's been around for more than 100 years, it's a whole food, right? Like a steak is a steak, a potato is a potato, eggs are eggs, Greek yogurt is Greek yogurt. It hasn't been like modified, has all these like weird like additives in it. No, it's just like a minimally processed, if processed at all, food. Now, topic of dirty bulking. If you're fat, you're probably not going to be doing that. But if you're skinny, you're probably thinking, oh, I want to get as big as possible. Like I gotta get like if the scale goes up, that's right. No, that is not what you want to do. In fact, here is an example from me, right? My face was all puffy 2 years ago because I went down like the whole like dirty bulking route. So I was bulky, I was inflamed, bloated, low energy. I did zero cardio and was like in like a 500 plus calorie surplus. So I was gaining more than like a pound a week. And I thought, oh, that means progress, right? I'm building muscle. But look at my face. Look at his face. Do you think that guy looks happy? Hell no, he is not happy. His abs are gone that he once had. He's like fat. He's like pale, low energy, feeling like digesting food all the time. That is not where you want to be. Compared to my attractiveness when I started eating clean, like these two pictures, that was like the beginning of the year. That was towards the end of the year. So like a 6-9 month difference after eating clean, locking in the diet, doing some more cardio here and there just to have some more energy. And look at the physique difference. Abs popping out, muscles popping out. Sure, objectively, I am like less big. I've got like less weight on the scale, but I look better. I look more attractive and more overall aesthetic. I'm lean, healthy, feeling light all day, high energy. I do some sort of like daily movement, whether it's lifting or cardio. And I'm in a 200 to 500 plus calorie surplus at all times. Overall, this is more objectively attractive than this one, right? And to prove my point, both of these pictures were taken in bad lighting. So it's not like this guy had bad lighting, this guy had good lighting. No, this gym, my school gym mirrors suck, right? And they don't let us use like the nice lighting ones because they're like a spin bike room. And I just included a screenshot of my grocery list here in case you wanted like some examples as to like what you can start including. Now it doesn't have to be these things, but this is just what I eat. Now personally, sometimes I feel like I'm the only fitness coach who doesn't believe in meal plans, but I believe in guidelines. And the guideline that I tell my clients, and I personally follow myself, is the PCC rule, where every single meal that you have has some sort of protein, some sort of carbs, and some sort of color every single meal. So colors like fruits and vegetables. And what's perfect about like this guideline is that if you're out traveling like I was, and this was taken, I was visiting my girlfriend's family and I didn't have access to like my own like food and Tupperware and kitchen like all these like bodybuilders want you to do and food scales. If you follow the guidelines, like you're gonna be eating a lot better than you would have been if you're just not eating with intention. If you're just eating like the sugary stuff and all this stuff, right? So as long as you include some sort of like protein, carbs, and color on your plate, you're in a better spot than you would be otherwise. Sure, you may not be hitting like perfect macros, but if you're to track your food for like 4 weeks, you would get like a good sense as to like what to put into your body. Stick to like the mostly whole, clean foods and follow the PCC rule. And if you want to know how much to eat of everything, find your estimated maintenance online, like a TDEE calculator. And I would follow these guidelines for like your protein, carbs, and fats. So in this example of a 160-pound man who needs to eat 3,000 calories to start to bulk up, 160 grams of protein, so that's 1 gram per pound of body weight, 100 grams of fats, that's about like 30% of his total calories. And last but not least, the rest of the calories goes to his carbs, 360 grams of carbs. Keep it simple, stupid. Guidelines are better than meal plans because meal plans are not always gonna last. The whole goal is to be consistent, not perfect, because you want to see results. You want to be able to keep that lean, attractive body year round, not lose it in a matter of a couple of like bad decisions. And that was the step-by-step guide on how to go from average to attractive. For this to work, do not go watch another video for research and whatnot. That's going to leave you feeling stuck in this analysis paralysis zone. And ultimately, average, right? Staying stuck. Take action. If you follow the action steps, I have so much respect for you. Good job. Most people, when they're watching this video, you know what they're gonna do? They're just gonna 2x, 3x like the speed of the video, like kind of pay attention but not really. Have like the words go in through one ear, out the other, and they just don't take any sort of action or get any results. Now, if you're an ambitious man who is done settling for average, he is done being stuck, he wants to build the attractive body, he wants to live every single day of energy, and to like design a life in a way that is disciplined, but he enjoys ultimately, then first link down below in the description, go check it out. Book a one-on-one call with me. We'll talk about your goals, your situation, and exactly whether or not it makes sense for us to work together. Thank you so much for watching this video of me just walking you through how to go from average to attractive step by step. If you found this video valuable and informational, share this with your friends because they probably need it too, right? I definitely needed this when I was in your position. That's exactly who I made this video for. Make sure to save this video to your playlist, bookmark it, whatnot, so you can always come back to it next time you have like the inclination to go watch a video just like this. Because this is the last video that you need. All that you need to do now, you have the information, but all that you need now is to take action. So get to it.